Were you using drugs when you were in the sober house?
No, not at first.
Did you start using drugs when he got out of jail?
Before he got out of jail.
How much before?
Several months.
Are you living with him now?
I am.
Still using drugs?
Nope, 7 weeks clean.
What about him?
Same.
How do you intend to pay her back?
My light bill or rent and such, like $100 or $300. I did pay back. I don't have any proof of that, but...
She said some money she paid her back.
Yes.
You borrowed small amounts of money. She was confident that you would...
Make sure I could make it to work, that I wasn't going to be sick, that I had my drugs in order to make it to work.
So you told her, I need money in order to buy drugs, so give me your money. Because I assume Miss Milan works, right?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Oh, I assume she works.
She would give me the drug that time.
I assume she would give you the drugs?
Yes.
What kind of drugs would she give you?
Heroin.
Miss Milan gave you heroin?
Yes.
So she was a supplicant for drugs?
Not that I know of.
So you knew her because she was a pusher?
Exactly.
Tell me about that.
I met her through a friend of mine, a mutual friend we had, who used to get drugs from her. That's how I met her, originally. At the time, I was sober. We became kind of like friends in a way. She took me under her wing as sort of a mother figure. She made sure I had cigarettes, food, and whatnot. It was her.
Well, you were sober at the time. You
Yes.
were living in a sober house.
Yes.
What do you mean she didn't want to lose a customer?
My friend was her customer. 2 months later, I had relapsed, and my friend and I would go see her on regular
I'm
occasions.
talking about you, not your friend. I'm talking about you. When she met you,
Yes, I was
you
sober.
were sober.
Yes.
So is what you're saying to me, Miss Milan tried to get you back hooked on drugs so that you would be a customer of hers?
No, I got hooked on drugs by myself, but when she found out, she wanted me as her customer.
And she wanted you as her customer, so not only did she give you free heroin, but she also gave you money for what?
To help me get to work, cigarettes. She would buy me food.
$1,900 is a lot of cigarettes.
No, not the whole $1,900. Like, say, sometimes I borrowed cash as well.
For what?
For bills, electric bill, towards my rent, and at which I did pay her back.
No, I'm not talking about any money that you paid her back. I'm talking about Miss Cassidy. You didn't have money to pay her for the heroin because otherwise you wouldn't have borrowed money from her, which you clearly acknowledged that you did. So she was giving you the heroin from her apartment.
In what part of her apartment?
Yeah.
Different parts.
Well, tell me. Give
Closet, pocket, jacket.
No, not pocket jacket. I'm not talking about on her person. You would bring friends. You would come yourself. I want to know, did she go to a safe? Did she go to a closet?
I would order before I arrived, and she would have it ready, most of the time.
So you would call her first and order your drugs?
Yes.
It's a drive-through, Donna.
What?
I'm sorry, but I think it's a drive-through. She's making it seem like I have...
5585 or in Hazelwood at 731-4040. Shreve's Engine Rebuilders since 1958.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Lizette Nealon and has never paid it back. Elizabeth claims Lizette is a drug dealer.
Okay. What kind of work do you do, Miss Milan?
I work at St. Memorial Hospital as a unit secretary. I've been doing this all my life, and...
How many years have you been working at the hospital?
8 years now.
Who do you live with?
I live by myself and my grandson.
Well, then you don't live by yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Your grandson.
Me and my little grandson.
How old is your grandson?
He's 5.
And where is his mother?
I have half custody of of Xavier. His mother lives. She lives with him also. I mean, they have their own place, but my grandson lives with me. Also, we share. When I first sent her, let me go back a minute. When I first sent her this letter that I was going to take her to court because she had not paid me, and the promises that she's made was not honored, I told her that I would be taking her to court. She got the letter. She called me and she goes, "If you take me to court, I'm going to tell them that you were selling drugs to me. I'm going to tell them everything." And I'm like, "Do whatever you want." I'm sorry. And those I sent registered.
Would you show these to the defendant?
I do.
Did you sign these checks over to her?
I believe so.
For what?
And try to make payments back.
Make payments for what?
For some of the cash I had bought for my bills and such.
So then that's a loan, because these checks bounce.
You about?
What kind of stay-away order?
Because there was a domestic violence that had occurred in November.
Who was the defendant in that case?
I was the defendant, Your Honor.
So he had a stay-away order against you?
Correct.
Go ahead.
So what he did is he invited me over to his house. We had been talking. He had actually used my laptop a couple days prior, and where at his house.
So you had been to his house before?
Yes.
After the stay-away order?
Correct. We were still friends. I actually lived with him for a while. He was nice enough to take me in, and he just asked me to use.
That's what you...
Correct. And
Follow the restraining order.
But she had been there before.
She had been there before, yes, Your Honor, because of other situations.
What other situations?
She sent me text messages saying that she's lonely, she has nobody, that...
Chased you across the stage when you hit the net until I seen you stand up and do this, and then I was like, all right. It was probably the most successful bad idea ever.
One of the Throttle's biggest sponsors.
It's just irritating. When I'm paid to do what I do, and what I do is sit out on that field and make announcements for 21 vendors. And you can't hear me because they're so dang loud.
They're a huge sponsor for the Full Throttle. They've been there for years. I'm going to give them whatever they want to get, regardless of anybody getting mad. If they want to play music, they play music.
Check. Check. Full Throttle, what's up? Can you hear me? Check.
Hey, what a blast. I'm going to go to school. So back in the day, the only big fights would be horses, the cowboys and that's about right.
So everybody's wondering what you're going to do next year.
Well, I just had to sit next year out. With DMC and being shot out of a cannon, hell, just short of catching a bullet with my teeth, I don't know what.
Like the James telephone.
Angie, listen, you know what? I'm tired of going off the deep end about that.
I help Michael getting bands paid and entertainment paid and things like that when he's out in the field busy, taking care of different things. And one of the payments I had to make today was for the Perfect Angels.
I'm going to treat you guys better than them. So I'll get that worked out. And whatever that deal is, whatever it is, I'm going to pay y'all more. So I wish y'all quit griping about the money until we're done with the money.
I was a little blindsided by it because from what I understood, they were coming into bartend. So I assumed they were getting a bartender paycheck from the Full Throttle Saloon. I didn't know.
All new Top 20 Most Shocking tomorrow at 10 on True TV.
What happened with you backing out?
Let that's done with her and I, so I decided to just hold off and wait off of her.
It's the spirit of Pappy Broil. It's alive.
These Harley guys dig it, and it's cool to come out here and put down some crazy, sick runs, and you know, it's fun, and we have a good time.
You know, the only thing that the Full Throttle doesn't have is a hill like this. That you will have a huge hill.
Bump, step forward. 5, 6, 7, up.
So the Flaunt girls have been a little bit nervous and anxious to hear about what Ron Spalding from Universal Fontana thought about